Good afternoon. Thank you. Welcome to the 14th Annual Access to Alumni Program. I'm Bonnie Thornton-Dill. I'm Dean of the College of Arts and Humanities, and I'm really pleased and excited to welcome you here today. This is one of my favorite events because it really gives the students the opportunity to connect with successful RU alumni who are here today to share their career advice and their insights. So students, I encourage you, do not be shy. The alumni are really also excited to be here and have an opportunity to talk with you. They remember what it was like when they were sitting where you're sitting now, not, coming up on graduation, trying to figure out what to do in the world. And so they will really be happy to share their experiences, what they're learning, and also kind of help you think through your own. So let me briefly describe the program's format. After our keynote speaker, whom I'll introduce in a few minutes, there are going to be 3 15-minute sessions during which you'll have a chance to visit the various different round tables and the networking area, which is in the back of the room, which is also where the food is, just in case you want to know. So when you hear the chime, thank you, we'll ask you to wrap up your current conversation and move to another table or visit the networking area. So it's a little bit like speed mentoring or speed dating or speed whatever you want to call it. We really want you to rotate, to both allow as many students as possible to speak to different alumni participants. And I want to encourage you to meet with alumni in your field of interest, but I also want to challenge you to speak with alumni from professions you may be less familiar with or that fall outside of your primary area of interest. Alumni, let me ask you a question. How many of you are working in a field that is different from what you thought you would be working in when you graduated? See all those hands? Okay. So the point is that you will be pleasantly surprised to discover how an English degree can lead to working at a nonprofit, or how a communications degree can lead to running your own business, or how a history degree can lead to a career on Capitol Hill. As you will discover today, career paths are seldom straightforward. I also, in the reception earlier, there was a reception for alumni. I met probably one of our most recent alums who's come back. I don't know where she is right now, but she graduated last year, and she met her employer here. Yeah, it happens. But even if you don't meet an employer, you'll meet someone who can help you find an employer or find a direction. And so that's really what this is all about. So she's so excited about the fact that this happened for her. She wanted to come back and tell people and encourage them and tell them about the importance of networking and taking advantage of this opportunity. But I know those of you who are here plan to do that, so we're really looking forward to it. I want to thank the Arts and Humanities Alumni Association Chapter Board for sponsoring. They are the sponsor of this afternoon's event. So board members, would you please stand and let's give you all a big round of applause. Stand up. Thank you. I want to acknowledge Carlos Acosta, who is the chair of the board right now. And then finally, I want to thank all of the alumni participants for coming to campus today. It's really a true indicator of their love for this campus, of the way in which they value their experience here, and also of their commitment to you. They're like giving back, and it means a lot to them, and they left work early or drove through traffic or various kinds of things because they thought it was important enough. So we want to thank all of you. So let's thank you. Okay, so now we're going to turn to our keynote presentation. And it's really my honor to introduce our 2017 Access to Alumni speaker, Michelle Singletary. She is a 1984 graduate of our college with a degree in radio, television, and film. And she's also a lifetime member of the Alumni Association. Hear that? Lifetime member, Alumni Association. So I just want to emphasize that. Join the Alumni Association. You don't have to become a lifetime member until you have a job that pays really well, but then you can become a lifetime member. Okay, so Michelle started her journalism career with the Baltimore Sun and is now a nationally syndicated columnist for the Washington Post. I'm sure many of you are familiar with her column, The Color of Money, which focuses on personal finance. Michelle has received numerous awards and national recognition, and her column is carried in more than 100 newspapers across the country. She has written 3 personal finance books, including her latest, The 21-Day Financial Fast, Your Path to Financial Peace and Freedom in 21 days. Okay. She is a contributor to various NPR programs and has appeared on a variety of national talk shows and television networks. Michelle also founded a program at her church called Prosperity Partners in Ministry, in which women and men volunteer to mentor others who are having financial challenges. Once a month, she conducts a workshop on topics that range from tithing to developing a budget to getting out of debt. So I am personally grateful to Michelle for her dedication to the university through her involvement here on campus, and especially in the college. It speaks to her strong belief in volunteerism and giving back, and has impacted our students, faculty, and community in countless ways. She was the featured speaker at the Gender Finance and Power series in the Department of Women's Studies. She has spoken at distinguished alumni events around the region and has shared her experiences with students as an alumni participant at this event in past years as well. So we didn't have to do a lot of arm twisting to get her to agree to do this. She was really enthusiastic, and we appreciate that. So today, Michelle will share with us some of the challenges she has faced, the lessons she has learned, and the tenacity that helped her forge a successful writing career. I'm sure she will have some solid advice for soon-to-be alumni and current alumni alike. Michelle lives in Maryland with her husband, whom she met when they were both students here, and their 3 children. Her daughter, Monique, who is here with us today, followed her parents in her parents' footsteps to College Park and will graduate in May. Congratulations, Monique. Where are you? Wave your hand. Where is she? Over there. Oh, okay. We like this generational terpism. So Michelle's career path and experiences are exceptional examples of how an arts and humanities degree can open doors that you may not be expecting. So please join me in welcoming Michelle Singletary. In her Maryland color.
Well, good afternoon. Okay, that's got to do better than that. Got to do better than that. Good afternoon. Okay, so I have a lot to cover, not a lot of time, and I talk really fast, but I want to get going. So I'm really quite honored to be back at this event. I thank the dean and the department and other alumni. I love talking to young adults. You just ask my daughter, fuss at her, talk to her all the time. And she knows that I'm a little crazy, so I always like to start off my keynote speeches with a little bit of humor. Is that all right with y'all? Just to get the mood going, because y'all look a little like, I'm so scared. So this is one of my favorite comics, and he sort of talks a lot about something that happened to me, like growing up. So just listen.
Even as a kid, growing up, we were poor. We weren't even poor, we were po. We couldn't afford the other letters, man. We had no money. I was actually being sponsored by a family from Haiti. That's a funny joke. I see this lady over here struggling. She don't know if she should laugh or not. When you're poor, your creativity excels. Like it really, really excels. I remember I wanted an action figure when I was 10 years old. I wanted an action figure so bad. My birthday came along. My dad hands me a box. I open it up. It's empty. He said, "It's Invisible Man." I was like, "That is awesome!" I played with that thing for like 3 weeks, man. So my brother hid it from me. Couldn't find it nowhere, man. I knew he took it. We played games. We just made up games. We played this one game called Talk About You. The instructions were to just talk about you. That's all we did. We talked about each other. My friends would talk about me, but like, "Michael Jr., you got some big feet." And I was good at this game. I was like, "Oh yeah, well you so dark-skinned, I bet if you ride a motorcycle, you get a ticket for tinted windows." It's hilarious. White people looking for black people, make sure they can laugh. Is it okay? It's okay? You sure? No? We ain't had no money, man. My parents would buy us some stuff, but they couldn't pay for everything. Like we had the game Operation, right? We ain't had no batteries. Then my cousin came over and he figured out a way how to plug it into the wall, right? It's a whole nother game now, right?
So that's one of my favorite routines. And I wanted to play that to sort of just set the stage for who I am. Because a lot of times when you hear speakers, you hear the end game, but you don't hear the beginning game. And I love this quote from Pastor Jeffrey Johnson, who said, "Success doesn't come without struggle." And I love what the dean said. You know, when you look at folks and where they are, you have to really know that there was a long road to get where they are. And many of us started right where you are right now. So I want to talk about the 3 C's of my life: my childhood, career, and can I be a mom for a little bit at the end? Cash, right? And I show that picture of a car. Because when you're driving, you always have to look forward, but you have a rear view mirror for a purpose. Because as you're going forward, you do need to look back to check on yourself. And I've tried to do that my whole career. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how I grew up. I grew up in Baltimore, and through some crazy events, I ended up living with my grandmother, Big Mama. That's her in the picture. And she's sweet. That's me in my wedding dress. Isn't that sweet? That was a used dress, y'all. Because I'm cheap. Did I mention that? I'm very cheap. And that has sort of ruled. My grandmother was cheap. She passed that on to me. And I remember when I went to go get the wedding dress, all my friends were like, "What? You can't buy a used dress? What? That's crazy." I said, "Look, the chick who wore that dress is not going to be at my wedding." So that's me when I went to go live with my grandmother, about 4 years old. And that handsome gentleman in the AAA hat was my grandfather. Now, my grandfather had a drinking problem, so he didn't always come home with his paycheck. And so my grandmother would pile us up into the station wagon to drive around, we lived in Baltimore, to try to find him before he drank up his paycheck. So that's kind of the life that I was living, and even as I came to this campus, coming from some crazy situations, and so I wanted to sort of share that with you so that you know that there's some struggles going on. And when you see my bio, when you hear about my bio, these are all the things that you hear. I worked for the Washington Post and was on Meet the Press, and I had my own television show, wrote for Oprah magazine, do segments for NPR. That's what you see out front. But all that stuff that I told you before, you don't necessarily see. But I used all of that to push me forward in my career. I didn't want my childhood to be who I was going to be. And I've had a very successful career. I wanted to just show you this really clip, one of my highlights of my career.
So at what age are you supposed to start talking to your kids about your your wealth and how to save money.
My kids are 5, 2, and 5 months, and I'm talking to the 5-month-old. You can't hand them diapers. We need generic diapers. I'm not kidding. I really, really do. We talk about money all the time.
You are unusual.
How many huge
get
secrets?
married? So that was people always ask me how Oprah was. She's nice. She's funny. She got more money than me. 3 books. My first was called Spin Well, Live Rich. One of my favorite books was my second book, Your Money and Your Man, How You and Prince Charming Can Spin Well and Live Rich. And my last book, The 21-Day Financial Fast. That's what the world sees of Michelle Singletary. They don't understand the nights that I used to spend in my bedroom when my grandfather finally came home and my grandmother yelling at him, threatening to hit him with the frying pan because he didn't bring home his money. They don't see that. And that's the kind of thing that I had to take as I tried to forge this whole career thing. And as I did that, the thing that helped me the most was to find coaches. So I would really encourage you to find people in your life that are going to speak life into your life. And there's 3 people who stand out in particular for me. Carol Carter was the counselor at my high school. And when I was in high school, the Baltimore Sun created this scholarship. And it was like nothing you've seen before. 4 years at the University of Maryland, a job every summer at the newspaper, room and board, and a stipend for books. That's like crazy, right? So my counselor was like, you gotta apply for this. I was working for the school newspaper. You gotta apply for this. And I'm like, I'm not gonna apply for this. First of all, I'm this little girl from West Baltimore whose grandfather's an alcoholic, whose grandmother is crazy, who wears crazy clothes. There's no way they're gonna give this scholarship to me. And so I said, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And she ran after me. You gotta do it. I'm not gonna do it. And finally, she said to me that, what do you have to lose? And I've used that my whole life. What do you have to lose? Go for what you want, because you already have a no from the jump. So I applied, okay, and on behold, there were 10 finalists in the state of Maryland, 2 from my high school, me and LaWanda Walker. I'll never forget her. She was in the Fashionette Club. I think that says it all, doesn't it? So when I went for the interview, I'm like, LaWanda's gonna get it. She's sharp, her family comes from money. She's just a great person. So I went to the Baltimore Sun for the interview. Now my grandmother, growing up, my grandmother was very challenging. She didn't like to drive, and she didn't like to drive to downtown Baltimore. So when the interview was at the Baltimore Sun, she's like, I'm not gonna drive, you gotta catch the bus. So she said, okay, so I say, okay, it's a bus, but you have to be there extra early. So she put me in a bus at 6 o'clock. I got there at 6:15. The interview was at 10. So I'm sitting in the lobby as all the cleaning people are going through and the editors are coming through, and they see this little girl sitting in there with the crazy little bun on her head, and I went for the scholarship, and y'all, guess what? I won. I beat out LaWanda Walker. Because somebody told me to take a chance. And then I get to Maryland, and that was challenging. I didn't come from money, didn't have money. And I would watch as people's parents would come up and take them out to dinner and do things like that, and I had to send money home. And I remember taking Dr. Joyce Joyce's class, who taught in the Black Literature class, and she was one of those, all of you have had one of these professors. You walk in and you know, oh Lord. She's tough. She's really tough. She would just, oh my goodness. And I remember, this is how we met her. The students were talking about her name, like who would name their daughter Joyce? And they didn't know she was standing in the doorway. And she said, because my father always wanted me to have the family name. That's the kind of woman she was. And I remember her I was the kind of student, A student. I come to Maryland thinking I'm going to do all of that. And she gave me a C. I've never seen a C in my life. And so she challenged me to do more with what I had, to not just stand on what I did in the past. And then finally, Shirley Carswell was an executive at the Washington Post. She looked out for me. You always got to find somebody in your job that's going to look out for you, because bosses will mess with you. None of the bosses here, but bosses will eventually mess with you. And so she was sort of my protector at the Washington Post. So Carol Carter, she told me to go for it. Dr. Joyce says, reach for the sky. And Shirley was like, I got your back, girl. So when we talk about this arts and humanities degree, come on, one of the things that you all were probably wondering is, are you going to make some money, right? Because people will always tell you, liberal arts degree, you're not going to make no money. You're not going to make no money. Well, let me tell you, I love this. Can I just play this? This is one of my favorite songs. I played that song because see that fine guy in the middle of that? That's who I met at Maryland. He had more hair than, so the picture in the corner, that's crazy with the hair, that's him. So that's us through our marriage. So my husband was at Maryland, and he was an engineering major. So, you know, I was like, okay, all right. So he would say to me, he would tease me. He's like, yeah, you're just a liberal arts major. And I was like, okay. And let me just let you all know, that, do not tweet this out. Do not post this on Facebook, okay? You promise? I make more money than him. Hey. That's right. Y'all do need to applaud that. In fact, I did some research. You know, graduate degrees in humanities earn much more than the average for all American workers. And now in this area, you might think that's not a lot, but that's a good starting salary, $50,000 medium salary, and lifetime. Look at this. Because we're always being compared to the STEM majors, right? You know, you want to go into that, but you have to find your gifting. Don't let anybody tell you that you should go into something just for the money. But here's the great thing. Lifetime earnings for our degrees, science, computer science, $3.2 million, but philosophy, $3.6, and then history, $3.7. This is lifetime. But the point is that if this is your gifting, don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't go into this major. And I don't know if you all can see this chart, but if you look over time, there's not that great a difference. Right? It's really about who you're going to be and how you do your job. And you can excel within anything that you do. I mean, I got to the Washington Post from West Baltimore, alcoholic grandfather, crazy grandmother, beating out LaWanda Walker. And I got to the Post, and sitting across from me was a guy who went to Harvard. And I got to the Post before he did. And I make more money. So I just wanted to give you a little flavor of my career path and how important it's been. But can I put on my mom hat for a little bit? Is that all right with you all? I want to talk to you a little bit about how I use my degree to develop this niche about money. When I went to the Washington Post, one of the reasons why I got my column was that I would always talk about the things that my grandmother taught me about handling her money. And when I got to the Post, I didn't understand this whole thing about doing lunch, going out to lunch. What is that? That's crazy. And people, you're not going out to lunch? No. Got my peanut butter and jelly sandwich and my little juice box? No. This is at the Washington Post. And one of my editors was like, okay, where is this coming from? And I said, my grandmother. And he challenged me. He said, why don't you write a column about what it's like growing up with your grandmother? And that first column, I'll never forget the headline, Savings Grace, netted more letters than they had ever gotten before. And that launched me into this career based on this thing that I learned from my grandmother. So if you don't mind, I just want to talk to you a little bit about how I hope that you use your money. I need you all to save, right? Federal Reserve showed that nearly half of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency if something happened. More than half of households have less than 1 month income saved. When you start out, and I know you're living like a student, keep living like a student, right? Develop an emergency fund. That's so, so important. Now, I've been known for how I don't like debt. I hate debt. So can I just get everybody to raise their right hand, just straight up, just raise your hand. Just everybody, right hand, straight up, as high as you can reach, like there's money up in those balloons. All right? Now, keep your hands up until I tell you to put them down, right? Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. I want to challenge you not to be like Stanley.
I've got a great family. I've got a 4-bedroom house in a
up.
great community. Like my car? It's new. I even belong to the local golf club. How do I do it? I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. I can barely pay my finance charges. Somebody help me.
So keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. So as you leave this college, I want you to remember Stanley. I don't want you to be Stanley. I don't want you to live your life beyond your means. And then I want you to be very, very careful about credit. Keep your hands up. You tired yet? Keep your hands up.
The Visa check card. Because money shouldn't slow you down. Life takes faster money. Life takes Visa.
Why are your hands not still straight up? Are you tired? Would you like to put them down? Oh, I didn't hear you, so okay, we'll just keep going. Are you ready to put your arms down? Are you sure? You're so timid today. I just don't know. Okay, go ahead. See, what I learned is that when you have credit, you tend to spend more than when you have cash. And so I love that commercial because did you see how everybody looked? Everything stopped. And did you hear the tagline? Don't let cash slow you down. See, now we've been using debit cards, and I'm not saying don't use credit or don't use debit, but understand that when you do, every time you swipe, it removes you from the pain of paying, and you tend to spend more than if you use cash. And so can I also tell you about this thing that I want you to do called budgeting? How many of you budget? Oh, that's really good. How many of you really budget? Because here's the goal. I want you to go from this. Now, some of you have that kind of pig. Who has that pig? Right? To this. That's the pig that you want. Right? That's what I want you to have as you start out. So the first thing you do when you leave and you get your first job is I want you to go to the HR department and sign up to have money automatically taken out of your paycheck right into a savings account. That's what my grandmother did to me. That's the lesson she taught me when I was first at the Baltimore Sun. I remember calling my grandmother up, and I was covering some major event in downtown Baltimore, and I was so excited. My first day at Baltimore Sun, and it's like, Mom, I'm going to. She said, "Did you go to HR? Mom, I covered this fire. Oh my gosh, there was all these. Did you set up that emergency fund?" And she hung up on me. And she told me not to call her back until I went to the HR department and set up my budget. Now, who does not budget? Who has trouble with that? Okay, I see the 5 of y'all. Okay, all right. So I try to inspire people. Now, the dean talked about this degree that can create creativity. And so I'm always challenged to figure out how to tell people about money. And I'm always thinking, how can I get you passionate about this thing that I love so much, that I learned in my career in journalism? That's what set me on the road that I'm on. And I was watching Dreamgirls. And I thought, I love that song, I am telling you, right? And so I want to just play this. And as I play it, I want you to think about this as your budget, right? So, when you think about budgeting, can I come down? I want you to, when you think about handling your money, I want you to think it is like, you know, I know you got a boo, right? I know you do, right? Right? I want you to think of it, best budget I have ever known, right? No way, I'm not gonna budget, right? You gonna budget, right? No way. No way. You gonna live without a budget, right? You're not gonna live without a budget. I'm not living without you. Think about it, you know, y'all got some rules, right? You don't wanna be free. You want to be free, right? 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 I'm staying, right? I'm staying, right? Right, right. And you're going to love budgeting. Yeah? Right, 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 right. Yeah? Come on now, right? Right? You're going to love this thing called finances, right? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Right? Think about it. See, I know you're so cute. I know you got a baby, right? Right? No, I don't got no baby. My daughter's free. I'm just saying, you know. Right? Right? Listen to her. Listen to her. Listen to her. This is what it's like to budget. Right? Right? I'm gonna, right, here it is, here it is. Right, right. You're gonna love budgeting. Right? This your baby. Right? Right here, right here, right here, right here. Here she go. Right. That's what I've learned. That's that's how I use my career to try to inspire people. So this liberal arts thing has taken me really far. Oh, and let me just tell you, y'all, my two loves, my boo and my budget. Ooh, and he fine. Listen, one of the things that people are going to ask you as you're about to graduate is what you're going to do for a living. And really what they're really asking you is how much money you think you're going to make. Really, that's kind of what they're asking you. And especially in this area, if you're engineering, English major, philosophy major, even journalism. I mean, journalism, oh, you're not. Oh. But let me ask you this. How many of you are rich? Okay. No, nobody? Nobody got no money? Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes. Okay. All right. This is an important question as you decide what you want to do for a living. All right. So let me ask you this. How many of you woke up this morning and could have a clean glass of water? Really? How many of you could open up the closet and decide what to wear? Really? How many of you could have something to eat? I hear they have free food here. Right, right. How many of you, oh my goodness, are going to get a college education? Right. How many of you have somebody that loves you? This is really for the employers. How many of you got kids? They say they're a blessing. How many of you have a job? Right. Oh, my. Oh, my. How many of you have your own teeth? Yeah, most of y'all. Okay, okay. So why didn't you raise your hand? Why didn't you raise your hand? Oh, I know why. Because you're thinking about the stuff that you're going to get once you get your job, right? You're thinking like this guy.
This is the best day of my life. Literally, the best day of my life. Still a good day. Yeah.
As you go about what you're going to do, whatever career that you want, you're going to have to learn to be content, right? And here's what I mean by that. I want you to learn to be content, but to content, this is from a motivational speaker, to be content does not mean that you don't desire more. It means you're thankful for what you have and patient for what's to come. Right here in this room, you know what your gifting is. And I always like to tell people, if I can use my daughter as an example, don't look over there. She's over there, but don't look over there. That when she decided that she wanted to go into education, one of the things people kept saying is, oh, like you go to Washington parties and people ask you what your kid's going to do, and if you say a teacher, it's almost as if you did something wrong. Because, you know, in Washington, you're a lawyer, doctor, or a lobbyist. And I thought, I want her to go into the area that is her gifting. So if you're in this room and this is where you're supposed to be, this is where you're supposed to be. And if you follow some of the things I talked about, right? Save, right? Save as much as you can when you can. And do it now. The best thing you have that we old folks don't have, well, maybe those old folks, because I'm about y'all age, just saying. it's time. So the first thing you do is start saving. And if you do that, if you are content with whatever you do and make do for what you have, whatever you do for life, it will be a success. It truly will. I mean, I talked to you about my childhood and where I came from and my career path. And granted, it's been an amazing career, and not everyone has this path, but who would have thought that that little girl who didn't want to take a chance to apply for a scholarship would be working for the Washington Post with people reading my column all over the world. And it started by me saying no and then saying yes. And who would have thought that I would be talking about money to so many people based on lessons that I learned from my grandmother? And so when people kind of joke about arts and humanities and are you really going to do that? I said, you know what? I'm rich. I got a fine husband. Look at those babies. These are babies. Those are my kids. I think about the career that I have and the life that I lead, and I'm so content. So as I wrap up today, and I'll be taking your questions, I just want you to know that you are on a good path. This is a great area for you. You can make money, and if you don't make as much as someone else, that's okay, because you're going to love what? You're going to love what? You're going to love what? You're going to love your budget. That's right. That's right. That's right. And that's going to take you really far. I so appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Okay, 2 or 3 questions? Okay. So we are open for some questions. 2 or 3? Then I'll be around. I can't leave. So any questions? There's mics right here and right here. Nobody? I know, everybody's so scared. Nobody? Thank you. All right. I think it's on. Tap it and see.
Hello?
There you go.
Okay, my name's Riley. I wanted to ask, what would you say about the rising level of income inequality that keeps making the rich get richer, it's making our middle class disappear, and the poor get poorer?
Right. I'm very concerned about that, and I think that we need to, well, you don't want me to talk about politics, Riley, because, you know, it's very concerning, and I do what I can to try to equalize it. And I think as each of us as individuals do what we can do. I mean, I try to teach in the community. You know, my husband and I volunteer at prisons to teach inmates. But honestly, I don't know if I can be as political, but I just think that we need different politicians. Right now, we have one of the richest Congresses that we've ever had. And how can people who never know what it's like to be hungry create policies for people who need to eat? And so each and every one of you has an opportunity to change that scenario by the way you vote, the way you participate in your community, and really, some of you could run for office, right? Oh,
Thank
there
you.
Go. You're welcome. Yeah, good. So I don't know if everybody heard. So your sister graduated in mechanical engineering. That happened to be the degree that my husband graduated in. And I'll send them a picture of me. You know what? I think that you just handle your money well, and you tell them that we are all gifted to do what we're supposed to do. And you know, do you want to be an engineer? You don't want to be an engineer? No. So just.
I want to sleep on her couch, but like.
So you know, you have to. honestly, you guys, you have to sort of tune out those voices that tell you that you can't make money in this career. You can. Now, will you make as much as, well, you can make as much as a mechanical engineer. I do. But just really talk to your parents about what you want to do. And the more you have a plan, the more you lay it out for them, then they can see their path. And also, you handle your money really well, don't you?
I handle my dad's money really well.
The more you can show them that you can handle your money well, the more you can prove them wrong. And you know, I'll give you my telephone number. I'll call them.
We'll talk later then.
We'll talk later.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank you.
did you tell me your name?
I'm sorry. I'm Jillian.
Jillian. That's my child's, my youngest name.
With a G or a J, it matters.
Okay, it matters. Are you a G or are you a J?
I'm a G.
Oh, man. So I was going to give you something, but I can't give you nothing now because you're a G. Well, since you were hesitant about your finances, so I'm going to give you a copy of my book.
Thank you.
Since you were talking about it, sounded like maybe you have some issues. A little bit. But Jillian, I don't think you should be worried, right? And then just do you, because that's all you can do. And then prove your parents wrong. And then I'll send them a picture of my husband, and I can show them that I make more money than him. All right, you're welcome. There you go.
Thank you. Don't leave the stage. Okay. So once again, let's thank Michelle Singletary for really inspiring us